So, hi Andreas, we are really happy to have you here in our art center, and we are really proud and really thankful that you helped us to be more zero waste and have more green trees, plants in our center. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your program?
Yeah, of course. First of all, thank you very much for being invited to your gallery. It was a pleasure to work with you, and I hope we will continue in the future. That's very important, because that was only the beginning of cooperation and not the end. This project we started. Usually we support events like festivals, you know about the Leopolis Art Festival, we have a jazz festival, or exhibitions, and a lot of other events all over Ukraine, not only in Lviv. But because of the pandemic, you know, it was not possible for us to invite Austrian artists to come here. And then we thought to start an initiative in ecology, and to help our partners here in Lviv in this time of pandemic, close time of social distancing, to do some sustainable projects in ecology, in zero waste, but not only zero waste. The topic is zero waste, but there are 4 partners, and every partner did a little bit different things. One focused on zero waste, the others on the garden or urban gardening, like the Ivan Franko Museum. So I'm happy that you could use our help, and as I saw, it's you did it successfully. It's not only greener, but I see the waste boxes over there. Some small little things changed. So thank you very much for being part of this project. And that's 4 partners were chosen. That's very important to tell you. It's not only your gallery, that's the Philharmonie, the Ivan Franko House Museum, as I told you, and the 4th one is the Lesia Ukrainka Theater. So you're part of a small family, and we thought that we will try to establish a platform, a network called Network of Green Culture in Lviv, and we will invite, after these 4 partners next year, maybe 4 others to participate, and so we will grow and grow. And of course, we do not want to help only one, but the aim of this project is to bring awareness about ecology, about topics like climate change, zero waste, and others, which are closely connected to culture. It's also a part of our lives, and that's the reason why we did that, started that successfully. And next year we will widen it with our partners in Kiev, the Austrian Cultural Forum, and maybe not only in Lviv, we will try to find partners in other cities as well.
Is it possible for some culture project or something like that to participate with you, like from their side?
Of course, it's not only it's possible on this as a partner in culture, to prepare events together, but important for us is to invite Austrian artists. If you know artists, young Austrian artists who fit in your program of this gallery, then of course we will try to invite them, and then we're able to cover the travel expenses and accommodation fees and so on. But without Austrian partners, usually it's not possible to get our support. And if you know, have ideas for the next year, this year we are busy already, but for next year there is an application deadline by the mid of October 2021 for the next year 2022. And I would be glad if we will find some artists who can be invited and shown.
Why it is so important to be eco-friendly when you are in some culture project or?
I think culture and ecology are very important parts of our lives to make our life more valuable, worthful, and the welfare of people depends on both equally, I think. And then next year topic of not only of our work, but the whole Austrian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and culture abroad set ecology as a topic. So I think it's very close to us and to what people expect from us besides cultural activities. It's not only doing art. So there are a lot of other things too. And our office is not only a cultural institution. I have to tell you, this cooperation office in Lviv is also responsible for education and scientific projects. We support education of psychotherapists, also as journalists, for example, with the Ukrainian Catholic University. So it's a wide field of activities.
So it means like nowadays, when you think that you're a culture person, that you are a progressive culture person, that it means that you need to be eco-friendly. It's like
I think it's very close to it. Look, there are a lot of artists, I remember also in Austria, who perceive what society needs, maybe a little bit earlier as we do, usual people. And for example, maybe you know Friedensreich Hundertwasser or others, they also focused very, very strictly on ecological topics very, very early in the 70s, 80s. So I think it's, if you go back the history, art history, you will find a lot of artists who worked with nature and I think not only as a source for their work, but they also try to protect it. So they are very closely linked to nature, to our surrounding and ecology as well. So I do not know about Ukraine. Of course, you have Ukrainian artists as well who work on nature topics.
What is the main problem with being ecological in Lviv?
In Lviv,
As you see from your side, because you're not the first time in Lviv.
I think it's in Lviv. We all know it's very important. Lviv is a city of culture and a city of IT, internet technologies, and I think that both parts are extremely necessary, important for the city. And Lviv as a cultural city attracts a lot of tourists coming here, not only from Ukraine, but also from Poland and from other countries. So they bring money, but they also bring mess.
Especially when you have festivals.
I think that festivals, and you see the traffic is increasing. It's impossible to have a car right now in Lviv because the streets are full, crowded with cars. So I think we have, if we want to increase and to improve the culture in Lviv, then we have to think on ecology as well, because it's impossible to do that without any borders. You need infrastructure, like I told you, traffic, transport, and you need places for garbage. And I think that's very, very closely linked also from an economical side.
Because we can lose all the tourists if you want.
Of course you can, if you see it.
Which projects do you have in the future? Maybe some big one?
No, we have, for example, a big one. We have 4 topics we work on. That's, I told you, psychology is one very important.
Why does it so important in Lviv?
It's not only in Lviv, it's all over Ukraine. We support education of therapists because we were asked to do that. And we started very early in the 90s with psychotherapy. And now it's music therapy as well, connected with the Academy of Music, University of Music in Vienna. It's trauma therapy. for soldiers coming back from the war, for children, for refugees. We were asked to do some help, and we try to educate them here. We invite them from different cities to come here to Lviv, and then they go back and bring all they learned back into their hospitals. So we invite experts to come here and do this with partners in Lviv. Then with journalists as well, we try to educate young journalists. We have started a school in 2016 for multimedia journalism. It's an international school running not only with Ukrainian students, but also with students from Georgia and from Denmark. So it's a really international school, 1 week here, 1 week in Vienna. And then we started in social management, educating managers of social work. We started with this Walnut House, Richo Vidim, with Yuri Lopatinsky to educate special workers in this sector, also with Austrian partners. And ecology is the fourth topic now. We work on these 4 topics, but also we invite Austrian musicians. This week they come, they're called Sketch Quartet, to this Leopolis Jazz Festival. They will play here on Friday, close in Palais Pototsky. Musicians, we invite writers, and I brought you a small present for you.
Ooh,
because
we love presents.
that's what we started in the very beginning. We translate Austrian writers into Ukrainian. It's lyric, it's Ingeborg Bachmann. It was translated last year. It's in 2 languages. It's translated by an Ukrainian translator, interpreter. And that's one of the last ones. And the very last one, maybe you know, to show you that we do not present only Austrian artists in Ukraine, but try to help Ukraine also to present their own artists in the German-speaking world. We translated Lina Kostenko into German language, and I think in the near future there will be a second book published in Carinthia in Austria, and that's what we really presented. A pity only online, because it was no time to do it live, but maybe after pandemic it will be possible to do these presentations also. So that's also part of our work, to translate writers, Austrian writers, into Ukrainian language, not only historical prosa, also common and contemporary. And then we invite artists, photographers, sculptors, and what is needed. Very important. We have to have a partner in Ukraine and one in Austria. We see ourselves only as a generator. We give an input, but everything has to be organized by the Ukrainian partners, and then we are able to help with expenses, travel expenses, accommodation.
And are you happy with these Ukrainian partners, with their work?
Yeah, of course, because we know them very long. We do not start with partners from one day to another. I stay here already. I think you won't imagine how long I stay here in Ukraine.
I don't know.
22 years.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, I do. And so that's the reason I know my partners very well. We start with, and sometimes, of course, there are surprises, and I know the way of working, how they work, and it's not so far from our style how we do manage things, but I think it's okay, it's fine. Not everything works for 100%, but from day to day better, and I think we have a lot of things to do in the future together. And we focus here on Lviv, of course, because I think it's easier for us Austrians to work here in the western part of Ukraine.
Because you feel more connection?
Yeah, and our mentality is closer sometimes, and especially with private institutions and new ones, it's much easier because they know the language. It's easier for me to talk in English because my Ukrainian is very, very bad, and then they know Western mentality better. So it's a little bit more difficult for us to work maybe in the East, but in Kharkiv we had successfully successful projects in the past, and also in Dnipro, in Odessa. So I know the whole country, but here and maybe in Chernivtsi, it's a little bit easier for us. And I think people know about the common history also. So we feel more connected than in the East.
So Austro-Hungarian myth, it helps sometimes with this spirit.
Yes, in the beginning it helped a lot. I have to tell you, it was easier, a little bit more difficult after Maidan, 2014, because maybe you have heard about the close friendship between the Austrians and the Russians. Especially the economy is a little factor. We are very dependent, not independent, dependent on Russian economy as well. And yeah, we try to build bridges. You see, that's what we have to do between countries, and that's the reason why we are here. We want to build bridges for artists in culture and between people. And hopefully this conflicts between Ukraine and Russia will end soon. And yeah, we will see.
Yeah, as I say, it's like it's never-ending story to build these bridges, because it can be like 1 year we're building it, and after that we are hoping that everything will be good for forever.
And as your ambassador in Vienna told, I think a couple of days before, that it's fine to build bridges, but it's only worth building bridges if both sides need them. If they need them. If they don't need the bridge, then it's really senseless to try to build them. Yeah, but it's easier, I think, to work for us here, and the young people are very different. When I came here, it was a little bit more difficult with these very conservative old structures, but they changed here in Ukraine as well. There are a lot of young people, and very often they studied abroad. They came here with their studies from US, from Germany, from
and they're more often traveling abroad.
Yeah, and they brought not only education, they brought mentality and lifestyle and a lot that makes things easier now.
Thank you for this conversation, and thank you for helping us, supporting us, and we hope that we will meet again and we will have more and more cooperations.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you very much. Thank you for this talk.